Alright, this is John Colo with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and we have a good friend here, Robert Cheeke. He's been doing the vegan bodybuilding thing for many years now. I admire him highly. He also advocates a plant-based whole foods diet, as I do. And we're here to ask him a few questions about fitness. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, he's rocked out. I mean, he actually works out and does all this fitness stuff. I just, work in my garden. I'm still, pretty good for my shape and for what I do and stuff, for not even working out really. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna ask Robert, some poignant questions about how much calories do you really need? I mean, he's into fitness and bodybuilding, and obviously he's eating enough food because he's definitely rocked out here. So Robert, what would you say, how much calories does the average person need, to maintain a healthy physique such as yourself on a plant-based diet?
Well, the interesting thing is, John, the interesting thing is that it's different for every person. We have these factors. It's basal metabolic rate, Harris-Benedict equation will help determine how many calories we need to consume each day based on how many we're actually expending. So this is based on age, gender, height, weight, and activity level. So for example, I don't know if people are aware of this, did you know that you can actually be considered an inactive person, a sedentary person, if you exercise for an hour every single day of the week? If you sit for the rest of the time, you have to factor in the whole approach. If you're sitting at a computer for 12 hours a day or something, even if you exercise 1 hour a day, you can still be considered inactive compared to someone who is moving around all day long, doing some physical work, doing some work in the garden, going to the park, walking their dog, climbing flights of stairs naturally in their home or at work. I mean, basically just moving. Unfortunately, a lot of us have stopped moving, and this affects our caloric intake each day. So it's not just a blanket approach that if you're a man or you're a woman, if you're this or that, whatever, it's not just based on those factors. It's based on how many calories you're actually expending based on your real life. So when you do that, look up the Harris-Benedict equation, type in age, gender, height, weight, activity level. I work out 7 days a week or 3 days a week. That will help tell you how many calories you're likely expending every day. From there, you can alter your diet to reach your actual health and fitness goals. So if you want to maintain weight, then you know how many calories to have. If you want to gain weight, you know how many calories from whole food sources you need to consume in excess of that baseline. If you want to lose weight, which is a goal for a lot of people, then you have to expend more. You have to go under that baseline when everything's all tallied up and on the table. So it's actually a complicated thing on the surface level, but it becomes simplified when you simply understand the formula. And it's not just understanding the formula, it's actually applying oneself. It's not saying, yeah, I'm vegan, eat lots of healthy foods. What do you really eat day in and day out? Are you really eating plant-based whole foods? Or are you eating some processed foods? Or are you adding in lots of supplements? Or is your diet very natural or is it unnatural? These are all important factors.
All right, Robert, so tell us, obviously you look pretty healthy there, and tell us what you eat and what you would recommend for people out there, if they want to do it right on a whole foods plant-based diet.
So I've been doing a plant-based diet, vegan lifestyle for about 20 years. And over the last few years, I've really focused on almost exclusively plant-based whole foods. I eat a lot of fruit, a lot of greens, potatoes, yams, sweet potatoes, quinoa, brown rice, avocado. You don't have to eat all of these different things, but what I like to do is understand that there's foods that give out a high net gain of nutrition and foods that are just not quite as good. I mean, not all food is created equally. I mean, we can all agree that even in the lettuce family, romaine is going to have more nutrition than iceberg, probably. You could say the same with lots of fruits. Some have more antioxidants than others. Some foods are better than others. So what I like to do is I like to pick the best, most nutrient-dense, nutritious foods in each category. So the best fruits, the best vegetables, the best nuts, best grains, best seeds, best legumes, if I choose to eat all of those different categories of foods. I want to eat the best ones. Why not? It's the best return on investment. And understanding calories is a big part too. If you think about it, map this onto society, and how does this impact our neighbor's health, our friend's health, our personal health? Knowing that in salad greens, there's about 100 calories per pound, okay? Compare that with ice cream, another very popular food, especially now in the summer, 3,000 calories per pound, 30 times. Fruits and vegetables, 200 to 300 calories per pound. Something like cheese, 1,700 calories per pound. Chocolate, 1,800 calories per pound. Meat, a couple thousand calories per pound. Oil, 4,000 calories per pound. Look at, I mean, this is really important stuff. Starchy vegetables and grains and legumes, beans, potatoes, etc., about 500 calories per pound. Turn those into chips and French fries, fivefold.
Wow.
2,500 calories per pound simply because of the oil that's been added. So these are conscious decisions we can make about what we decide to eat and what not to eat that's going to dramatically impact our caloric intake, and that's going to have an impact on everything from our weight to our energy to our understanding our basal metabolic rate. It's important stuff to consider. Where does your food come from and what's in it? How many calories are in it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with Robert. You know, one of the things I try to do is eat high nutrient dense foods, you know, with low calories. Consequently this means is that I need to eat a big bulk of them, a lot more quantity. So some of the ways that help me do that are things like juicing and blending. And what are some ways that would help you, you know, get in all the food you need when you're eating things whole?
Right. I used to be a 195-pound vegan bodybuilder, just stuffing myself with tofu and supplements and everything, thinking that's what I had to do. I actually consumed 5,000 calories a day. I didn't feel very well. My stomach was often upset. I was bloated. I was full all the time, lethargic, always focusing on having to eat as much protein as possible. That was a mindset I had from the bodybuilding culture. When I switched to plant-based whole foods, essentially exclusively, things changed. I don't need 5,000 calories anymore because the food is so much more nutrient dense. I mean, imagine a loaf of white refined French bread. A loaf this big has over 1,000 calories in it. I know, I've checked the label, I used to get that stuff. It has over 1,000 calories in it of just fluffy refined ingredients. Nothing whole, nothing natural about that. Yet, as a society, we eat it every day. And one thing I said in a recent talk, or in most of my talks, we have to look at, what if we say, I eat salads all the time. I'm a healthy, plant-based eater, vegan, I eat salads all the time. A couple hundred calories per pound, right? Normally, what if we fill it with an oily dressing? Guess what? This salad that was designed to be a few hundred calories is now 1,000 calories, mostly fat, and it is more calorically dense and fatty than that pizza and burger over there. And this is a salad. So we have to just be aware of these types of things, that a salad isn't a salad anymore if it's you know, changed and altered in such a dramatic way. Now it's a junk food made up of mostly fat.
Wow, yep. I mean, I recommend, once again, whole sources of fat. You know, nuts have less calorie density than oils, but they still have plenty more calories than, you know, lettuce, for example.
Right.
So that's why I like to use about a handful, maybe two if I'm being nice that day, you know, added to myself to get the proper amount of fat, but also the phytonutrients and phytochemicals in the nuts. So Robert, what's one last tip you'd like to share with my viewers out there watching this video about, you know, eating healthy on a plant-based diet?
Consistency and accountability and transparency is the most important thing, period. Because I love to tell you. I love to tell you on the camera. I love to tell you, John. I love to say, hey, I ate healthy food. But what did I eat yesterday? And what about the day before? And what about when I'm traveling? What about during holidays? What about during celebrations or parties? Or, I mean, these things matter because we have 52 weeks out of the year. How many holidays do we have? There are a lot. And how many other celebrations are there, or times we were sick, or not feeling well, or lazy, or whatever the case is? We have to understand that things compound. Things compound majorly. What we do today impacts tomorrow. What we did last week impacts next week. And it's so important to understand that consistency leads to adaptation, leads to improvement, leads to success, and accountability. Just being aware of what we're really doing. So my final tip is to document what you eat for an entire 2-week period. I say 2 weeks because if you do just 1 week, you're likely to like, okay, I gotta eat really special this week, so it looks good on paper. So take 2 weeks out of your life, document everything, and you'll say, wow, I had no idea I was eating that many calories. Or I had no idea I was eating that few amount of calories. Or I was eating that much fat or that much processed food when I thought I was eating mostly whole food. I didn't know until it was revealed to me. That's what I would leave you with. It's fundamentally important to be astutely aware of what you're actually eating, because that's where you can make changes, that's where you can make improvements, and that's where you can reclaim and take over health and create your own health outcomes and your own health destiny.
Wow, I mean, I definitely agree with Robert on that. I often recommend food diaries, and there's 2 websites that make it really easy, fitday.com and Chronometer. And in addition to just putting in what you're eating, I would also encourage you guys to make notes and jot down how you feel after each meal, because you want to look back on this after 2 weeks to see, oh man, when I ate quinoa, I didn't feel so good, but when I ate baked steamed potatoes, or when I just had a salad with a handful of nuts, I felt great. I mean, whatever it is for you, I want you guys to key in, because everybody may have different food allergies, and some foods may agree with your body better than others. So last thing, Robert, is if somebody wants to learn more about you, and I do appreciate your work, and this is an awesome guy, you want to check him out for sure, get connected with him, follow his work, what he's doing. He has a lot of good stuff to say. How can somebody find you online?
Thanks, John. Find veganbodybuilding.com or Robert Cheeke on Facebook and Twitter. That's the best place to find me, and thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Robert. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, learning more about how to maintain a fit, healthy, trim diet on a whole plant-based diet, and be looking like this guy one day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and remember, until then, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.